Okay, well, let's go on to the US pre-market movers and levels.
Okay, well, we start back in the semiconductor space, because there wasn't just stories around ARM and SanDisk yesterday. After the close, we heard from Fairchild Semiconductor, or just prior to the close, I should say. FCS in the US is the ticker there. They're trading this morning around $16.86, which is unchanged, but in yesterday's session they closed up 3.12%. Why is that of interest? Well, despite a third quarter earnings miss and lower fourth quarter guidance, the shares rallied, I should say, on report of talks with either Infineon and or On Semi about a takeover deal there. So, yet another takeover story, one that that wiped out a negative earnings story there. And then moving into the airline space with the company Spirit Airlines, that's ticker SAVE in the US, $48.15 they're trading, pre-market down around 3.82%, and the budget airline guided lower for Q4 on revenues and capacity. That's disappointed the market, because the forecast with analysts there had been for rising capacity over the coming quarter, and so it looks like it's back to the drawing board for them. The management also said that fares were low, they're likely to stay low, and margins will remain under pressure. So plenty to think about there. And then in terms of levels to watch today in the FTSE, we go with 63.60 on the downside, plays 64.30 to the upside. For the DAX, been able to narrow the range here for a change. 10,100 is a downside level, plays 10,170 to the upside. Excuse me. And then for the S&P, 1996 on the downside, plays 2030 to the upside. Unfortunately, that's starting to widen the range there again. And it's the same story in the Dow. 17,064 on the downside, plays 17,172 to the upside. Will be interesting to see where both of those indices finish the week, of course. Currency-wise, a little bit of respite for the dollar, which had given ground against the euro for most of the week, but 113.30 now is our downside in the euro, plays 113.75 to the upside, although it wouldn't surprise me to see it back above 114 sooner rather than later. Aussie dollar, US dollar, 72.65 now on the downside, plays 73.20 to the upside. Be interesting to see how that reacts to the Chinese data on Monday. Dollar yen, probably the yen has been the biggest beneficiary of recent dollar weakness. So 118.88 is our downside level in dollar yen, plays 119.25 to the upside. And cable seems to be holding its own, 154.14 on the downside, plays 154.60 to the upside.
Right, so it's a bit of a wait and see mode there for many of these markets.